Okay. As I said, we have two types of speeches, direct speech and indirect speech. And reported speech is a synonym for indirect speech. So what are reported statements? When do we use reported speech? When you want to report something to somebody. Let's say person A tells something to you and you are reporting that to person C. So what all grammatical rules that you follow while reporting is what we'll be discussing here. So reported statements, reported statements, reported speech or indirect speech means you're reporting something to somebody. When do we use reported speech? Sometimes someone says a sentence. For example, I am going to the cinema tonight. Later, maybe we want to tell someone else what the person said. So what do we say? We report that event. We say that person A said that he is going to the cinema tonight. Okay, that is indirect speech. So we use a reporting verb like say or tell, and its forms. It could be say, said, or tell or told. If this verb is in the present tense, it's easy. We just put she says and then the sentence. Direct speech, I like ice cream. Reported speech. For example, person A says that I like ice creams within quotes, because when you're quoting somebody, you have to use. Then reported speech, what do you do? She says that she likes ice cream. So here the gender, when you're mentioning in the answer, it could be he or she. That doesn't matter if the pronoun is not specific. Okay. If the pronoun is specific, you have to use a suitable pronoun. If a male is saying it, you have to use it as he. We don't need to change the tense, though probably we do need to change the person from I to she, for example. We also may need to change words like my and your. So pronouns, you should be aware of it. Pronouns also, I'll be doing it, or you two can go through it. But if the reporting verb is in the past tense, then usually we change the tenses in the reported speech. So this is very much important. If the reporting verb is in the past tense, then we change it into reported speech. See what all topics that are not mentioned here, I will be covering it under remedial grammar revision only. So first, what all is specifically mentioned, I will cover it. So direct speech, I like ice cream. Reported speech, she said that she liked ice cream. So these are the tenses. And how are you going to convert this direct speech into reported speech? If the sentence is in present simple tense or simple present tense, I like ice cream. You have to say he said, she said that she liked ice cream. So this is in reported speech or indirect speech. Present continuous. So tenses topic you should revise. You go through, you watch that video again. Okay, I am leaving. I have mentioned the grammatical pattern that you use in tenses. So I am living in London. She said that she was living in London. So what is present continuous in reported speech? It becomes past tense. So easy way to understand this, in most of the sentences you see here. In reported speech, it is all past tense. Said, 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 it's all past tense. So whether it is in simple present tense or any of the tenses form, you make it past tense. Because you are reporting it. The present event has already happened. Consider that you are person B and person A has told something to you and you're reporting that to person C. How are you going to report it? You should obviously report as if the event has ended. Then past simple, I bought a car. She said that she had bought a car, or she said she bought a car. Past continuous, see all you should see here. See the verbs that are there. It is all in past tense. Past continuous, I was walking along the street. She said that she had been walking along the street. Again, it depends on what you focus on. We can even say she had been walking along the street, or she was walking along the street. Present perfect, I haven't seen Julie. She said that she hadn't seen Julie. Past perfect, I had taken English lessons before. She said that she had taken English lessons before. Will, what about, see, till here we discussed about present and past. Then what about the future? Words that are denoting future. I will see you later. She said that she would see me later. Will becomes would. I would help, but she said that she would help, but. So the continuation of the sentence you can complete in whichever manner you want. Can, I can speak perfect English. Do you all remember these modals that we discussed in the tenses? Will, would, can, could, shall, should, might, must are all modal auxiliaries. Can, I can speak perfect English. She said that she could speak perfect English. I could swim when I was 4. She said that she could swim when she was 4. Shall, I shall come later. She said that she would come later. Should, I should call my mother. She said that she should call her mother. See, my becomes her here because you're reporting the event of somebody else. Might, I might be late. She said that she might be late. What is the difference between may and might? Might means 50, may means 50-50 chances. Might means less than 50%. Must, I must study at the weekend. She said that she must study at the weekend, or she said she had to study at the weekend. So in most cases, see, wherever it is star marked, the active, the direct speech and the indirect speech denotes that it doesn't change itself. Then occasionally we don't need to change the present tense into past if the information in direct speech is still true. But this is only for things which are general facts. Many times, see, the general rule is when you are converting from direct speech to indirect speech, in indirect speech you use a past tense. Okay, but when it comes to general truths, universal truths, okay, for example, the sun rises in the east. Person A tells to me, I am person B, tells to me that the sun rises in the east. How am I going to report it to person C? I say person A said that the sun rises in the east. I'm using the same grammatical sentence because it's a universal fact. Direct speech, another example, the sky is blue. She said that the sky is or was blue. So was is also incorrect to a certain extent because you also say the sky is blue because sky keeps on changing. Okay, at times it could be dark gray. Okay, for that, in that context, they have used was. When it comes to universal truth like sun, it retains the same sentence. Then reported questions. So now you have no problem with making reported speech from positive and negative sentence. But how about questions? Okay. See, till here, you just converted a sentence, direct speech into reported speech by making it into past tense, using the words like said and other things. Okay, now, how are you going to change the questions in reported speech? Where do you live? How can we make the reported speech here? In fact, it's not so different from reported statements. The tenses changes are the same, and we keep the question word. The very important thing, though, is that once we tell the question to someone else, it isn't a question anymore. This is very much important. Though it could be a question, it does not function as a question in reported speech. So we need to change the grammar to a normal positive sentence. A bit confusing. So look at this example. Where do you live? She asked me where I lived. So though there is a question in the direct speech, in the reported speech or the indirect speech, it is in the form of a sentence. She asked me where I lived. Do you see how I made it? The direct question is in the present simple tense. We make a present simple question with do or does. So I need to take that away. Then I need to change the verb to past simple. Where is Julie? She asked me where Julie was. The direct question is the present simple of be. Be forms have discussed forms of be, am, is, are. We make the question form of the present simple of be by inverting. Inverting means reverse, like question tags, the subject and verb. So we need to change them back before putting the verb into past simple. Where is the post office, please? She asked me where the post office was. Is becomes was here. What are you doing? She asked me what I was doing. Are becomes I. Who was the fantastic man? She asked me who that fantastic man had been. Again, there could be various conversions from direct question to reported one. So much of WH questions, but what if you need to report a yes or no question? We don't have any question words to help us. Instead, we use if. So till here, we discussed about direct question, converting direct question into reported question. But what about yes or no questions? Do you like chocolate? So how are you going to, for this, the answer is just yes or no. But how are you going to convert it into reported speech? She asked me if I liked chocolates. So we use if. So one thing you should remember, for questions for which the answers are yes or no, for that kind of questions, you convert it into a reported speech or indirect speech by using if. Do you love me? He asked me if I loved him. Have you ever been to Mexico? She asked me if I had ever been to Mexico. Are you living here? She asked me if I was living here. Reported requests. There's more. What if someone asks you to do something in a polite way? For example, close the window, please. Could you close the window, please? Or would you mind closing the window, please? All of these requests mean the same thing. So we don't need to report every word when we tell another person about it. We simply use ask him to infinitive. What do you mean by infinitive? Infinitive refers to base form of the verb. She asked me to close the window. Okay, to close is the base form. Closing, closed are all other forms. Please help me. She asked me to help her. Please don't smoke. She asked me not to smoke. Could you bring my book tonight? She asked me to bring her book that night. Could you pass the milk, please? She asked me to pass the milk. Would you mind coming early tomorrow? She asked me to come early the next day. So could and please together denote the same thing. Could it itself denotes that you are requesting. To report a negative request, you use not. Please don't be late. She asked us not to be late. Then reported orders. Reported orders. If someone does not ask so politely, we can call this an order in English when someone tells you directly to do something. Sit down. So what do? In fact, we make this into reported speech in the same way as request. We just use tell instead of ask. She told me to sit down. Go to bed. He told the child to go to bed. Don't worry. He told her not to worry. Be on time. He told me to be on time. Don't smoke. He told us not to smoke. Time expressions with reported speech. So what all wordings that you use to denote time? Sometimes when we change direct speech into reported speech, we have to change time expressions too. We don't always have to do this. However, it depends on when we heard the direct speech and when we say the reported speech. It's Monday. Julie says, I am leaving today. If I tell someone on Monday, I say, Julie said that she was leaving today. If it is on Tuesday, if you're reporting this on Tuesday, you use yesterday. Wednesday, then you mention Monday. A month later, you say that day. See how the same sentence, the wordings of the time differs from today, yesterday, Monday, on that day, depending on when you are telling it. Okay, this you should make a note. So there's no easy conversation. You really have to think about when the direct speech was said. Here is a table of some possible conversions. So now in direct speech becomes then or at that time in indirect speech. Today becomes yesterday, that day, Tuesday. Again, 27th of June, they have just mentioned the name. If it is too long, okay, if you're talking about some past events and you want to be specific, you mention the date. Then yesterday becomes that day before yesterday, day before Wednesday, 5th of December. So these are all just examples of how you should refer to dates. Last night, the night before, Thursday night. Last week, the week before, the previous week. Tomorrow, today, that day, following day, Friday. And also, when it comes to usage of ago, you should not say he informed me 2 days before. It is wrong. You say he informed me 2 days ago. When you're referring to past tense, you should use ago.